let's see what happens here. And we're getting ready for Facebook. We're up on YouTube. And we're live.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
Nothing. Evening.
Yonman.
I like the tune too.
Mr. Chris Yonman, everybody.
Good tune, Paul. Does everybody know that that's Paul playing the drums in the background there? So we should make sure that people know. And he's available for weddings and bar mitzvahs. So.
Yeah.
Evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show. First of all, I'd like to welcome back our regular co-host, Royal Astronomical Society of Canada member, Mr. What's that?
Mr. Kaufman. That's Mike Kaufman.
My God. Oh, boy. One of them shows. Everybody had their fill of Easter chocolate, I can tell. First of all, we'll welcome back Royal Astronomical Society of Canada member, Mr. Paul Owen from Hampton, New Brunswick. Evening, Paul.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
And we got Royal Astronomical Society of Canada member Mike Powell from the
Mike
BFO
Powell.
Observatory. Mike from
One
here in
long
St. John. All right, and tonight you see that our fourth window here is filled this evening as well, so we have another special guest on our program tonight. Please join me in welcoming back Trudy Allman, Royal Astronomical Society of Canada member Trudy Allman.
Hello.
Hey, Trudy.
She is the Mike.
Hey, Trudy's in the house. Trudy's in the house.
Trudy's in the house.
All right. Trudy is an avid member of our St. John Astronomy Club as well and has been involved in the hobby a while now and has the enviable ability to enjoy some really dark skies from her backyard in Fairfield.
Yeah.
A suburb. No, stop. Stop there. Fairfield.
No cookies for you.
Well, that'd be a while anyway.
Oh, mention Chris about how she keeps us fed.
Yeah, she does keep us fed too at our astronomy club meetings. Yes, make sure that we have desserts. So I can't say too much. Just going to say the dark skies of Fairfield. And people want to know where that is, they can Google map it. Right?
There you go.
It might show up as just a tiny little dot. Stop, Mike. Hey, did okay. That was a hard paragraph to get through, actually. Also, we're going to talk to Trudy tonight about what she's been up to recently on her journey to learn more about the universe and some of her most recent accomplishments. Welcome back, Trudy. So,
Thank you.
And on tonight's show, also Mike's going to be offering another one of his new segments, his binocular target of the week this week. I believe it's on. I'm not even going to say what it's on. It's going to be a surprise. And we'll have another one of our segments on the Where Are They Now series. So we're going to give up that What's New in Space series. I guess we talked about amongst ourselves here. And it's going to be Where Are They Now, which is a look at past and present space missions going on. A lot of interesting ones out there right now, a lot of things happening, so lots to talk about. And Paul's going to offer us another interesting Rosanna's Fun Facts segment again tonight as well. And we're going to take a look at your wonderful photo submissions for the week. And of course, we'll take all your questions about stargazing, telescopes, and more. So sit back and enjoy. Remember, this is a family-friendly live broadcast. So if you have questions about the night sky, if you have children who want to join in and watch the show, you're more than welcome. We're happy to try to answer your questions here for you. So I guess we're going to get started then with a look at our newest segment, which is what we call Where Are They Now? So we're 8:05. I'm going to try to get done this within 15 minutes. Because we've got a lot to talk about, Trudy.
Okay.
Where are they now, Chris?
But, yeah, where are they now? Where are they now, anyway? All right, let's see if I can get through this or even get started without these clowns here. Oh, I mean, these are my astronomer friends. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Shh. Okay. I'll be quiet for a moment. Okay. Let me bring up my presentation. Good evening, everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to slideshow and present from beginning, I guess. Pretty good spot to start. Can everybody see that on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at that segment. Where are they now? These are all the space missions down here below that I'm going to talk about over the next 25 to 30 years. And there'll probably be a whole lot more by that time. Anyway, so the one I wanted to mention tonight was what we call the Gaia mission. And the Gaia spacecraft is an ambitious mission solely operated by the European Space Agency, or ESA. Gaia mission is surveying about 1.7 billion stars in the Milky Way to create the largest and most accurate three-dimensional map of the galaxy ever obtained. In so doing, it's also detecting new asteroids and extragalactic sources such as quasars, finding new exoplanets, and even providing some tests of Einstein's theory of general relativity. Now I'm going to move ahead here to a little bit better description. That sound will only be there for the beginning, I believe. We still hearing things? Yes, okay, hang on. There we go. And all that dramatic music, it just means that they can get more money for the next mission, right? So anyway, so that's a little bit about what Gaia is all about. Now, so far, the gathered large data sets are providing astronomers with a wealth of information covering a wide range of research fields, from solar system studies and galactic astronomy to cosmology and general relativity. Now, scientists also expect to discover thousands of exoplanets beyond the solar system, tens of thousands of failed stars or brown dwarfs, and more than 20,000 supernova or exploded stars. And by watching the large-scale motion of stars within the galaxy, they probe the distribution of dark matter. Now, Gaia has also measured some 500,000 distant quasars. So, amazing amount of data that's coming down from this spacecraft. Now, the spacecraft Gaia was launched by an STB frigate MT Soyuz rocket, a Europeanized version of the Russian Soyuz capsule or Soyuz rocket, from Europe's spaceport in Kourou, French Guiana, on December the 19th of 2013. The spacecraft circles the sun in an Lissajous, it's called, type orbit at the L2 Lagrangian point. So L2 is way out here. So there's a point out here in space, about 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, where I'm going to read on here a little bit. Location has the advantage of a low radiation environment and a very high thermal stability. Also, where it sits out here, it uses very little propellant to have to keep itself oriented back, facing back to Earth. So that's another advantage of it, called the L2 Lagrange point. Now, Gaia also measures the position of about 1.7 billion stars, both in our galaxy and other members of our local group. Now, that's about 1% of our galaxy's population of stars, at about 40 million observations a day it makes. Now, Gaia can achieve this precision for objects 4,000 times fainter than the naked eye limit, and Gaia can measure the positions to an accuracy of 24 microarc seconds, comparable to measuring the diameter of a human hair at a distance of 1,000 kilometers. A previous mission, Hipparcos, 1989 to 1993, cataloged more than 100,000 stars to a high precision and more than 1 million to a lesser precision. Gaia charts 10,000 times that many stars as Hipparcos, measuring their position and motion with 100 times greater precision. Now, I want to get to my next slide. Is this way? It's just going to be another little clip. I think I don't need the volume on for that one. So Gaia's, the instrument package on the Gaia spacecraft comprises 2 identical optical telescopes, a radial velocity spectrometer, and blue and red photometers. The payload features a 106 CCD focal plane array totaling nearly 1 billion pixels, making it the largest digital camera ever used in space. Now, Gaia's 2 telescopes monitor each of its target stars about 70 times over a 5-year period, spinning slowly to sweep the entire celestial sphere. As a telescope repeatedly measures the position of each celestial object, they detect the combination of the apparent motion caused by the parallax effect and the true motion of the object. By combining the measurements for all objects viewed, it is possible to obtain the parallax and proper motion for each object targeted. In its observation mode, Gaia spins once every 6 hours, sweeping its 2 telescopes across the entire sky and focusing the light it gathers onto a single digital camera with nearly 1 billion pixels. Now, Gaia detects and measures the celestial objects, stars, galaxies, quasars, and solar system bodies down to a magnitude 20.5, about 650,000 times fainter than the unaided eye can see. And that's how it captures its data. Now, of the 1.7 billion stars Gaia will observe, 99% of them have never had their distances measured accurately. The nearest stars are having their distances measured to the extraordinary accuracy of 0.001%. Even stars near the galactic center, some 30,000 light years away, will have their distances measured to within an accuracy of 20%. Now, the Gaia Data Processing and Analysis Consortium, or the DPAC, consists of more than 400 individuals who will contribute some 2,000 person-years of effort to the Gaia data processing exercise. Now, by the end of the mission, the data archive will exceed 1 petabyte, or 1 million gigabytes, equivalent to about 200,000 DVDs worth of data. It's already sent back 3 data sets so far. I'm going to get into that just in a second here. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you an animated view, turn the sound down, of 14,099 asteroids in our solar system as viewed by ESA's Gaia satellite using information from the mission's second data release. The orbits of 200 brightest asteroids are shown as determined using Gaia data. In future data releases, Gaia will also provide asteroid spectra and enable a complete characterization of the asteroid belt. The combination of dynamical and physical information that is being collected by Gaia provides an unprecedented opportunity to improve our understanding of the origin and the evolution of the solar system. Now, the same technique is being applied to asteroids that were lost, allowing researchers to use the data from Gaia to determine their trajectories as well and physical properties more accurately than ever before. This is helping them understand asteroid population models and deepen our understanding of how asteroids' orbits develop, for example, by measuring subtle dynamical effects that play a key role in pushing small asteroids into orbits that could see them collide with Earth. So that's just part of the data that has come down so far. 19,000 asteroids plotted. And I got just a couple more slides here. We should be finished up, but they are a little bit of a video. Oh. And this slide here is data release is going to show the movement of 40,000 stars. No, I'm sorry, I went ahead to that just went to the same slide again. Here we go. I'm just going to run this one through. So we're going to start our tour. So this is some of the data that's come down. So we started our tour at the solar system neighborhood of the sun. Now we move away from the sun, seeing the planets and then stars within 100 parsecs, or 300 light years, 320 light years of the sun. So we're zooming out to 320 light years away from the sun. Now from here, the precise 3D positions in space for these 331,312 stars were taken from Gaia's newest star catalog. Moving into this volume, we see stars of different colors determined by Gaia. Now, the colors are indicators of their temperature, of course. This is the latest data set that was just released in December. Besides the position of the stars in space, Gaia also measures the motions of the stars with very high precision. So the longer vector lines are stars that are moving a lot faster. The velocities of the stars are all indicated by these vectors. And many stars have companion stars, so they orbit around their common center of gravity and move together in space with about the same velocity. We highlight these wide binary stars in yellow. So astronomers believe that about 70% of the stars within 100 light years of Earth are actually double stars. We're going to visit a few of the binary stars here that are just highlighted in yellow. So they can orbit around a central mass or a center of gravity, common center of gravity. And you can see that most of these are all moving through the sky at the same rate as well, in the same direction. And now two clusters are located within the solar neighborhood. And one of them is the Hyades cluster, containing stars that were born about 600 million years ago. That's the V shape in Taurus the Bull. We highlight the stars, the Hyades, here in yellow. And the members of the Hyades move together all in the same direction. And as a result of inheriting the motion of the large molecular cloud from where they were born. The second star cluster in this volume is called Coma Berenice star cluster, and it's about 500 million years old. We highlight those stars in yellow as well. And again, the velocity vectors show their common motion. Now we move out so that all 331,312 stars within 100 parsecs become visible. Moving out from the Milky Way, we can recognize a region within radius of 100 parsecs of our sun. And that's the small piece that we're actually looking at with all that data. We got a lot to learn. Okay, and let's move ahead to the last slide, which is this one. So this is a little part of the data release that came down. EDR3 came down on December the 3rd, 2020. They're still gathering data from all this. Again, it's just gigabyte and gigabytes of data. The astronomers don't know what they're going to do with it all. There's so much data, and they have a huge crew that's trying to just translate the data to get it out to other astronomers. So this is only about 30 seconds here. We'll be done. Motion of the sky for 40,000 stars in Gaia's EDR. I want to pause that for a second. The motions are shown as short arcs across the sky spanning 80,000 years each. And because Gaia is spinning around and taking a capture of each star 70 times over 5 years, then it can actually plot the path of it. So we're going to take a look at the next 1.6 million years into the future. So there's the sky that Gaia has taken of 40,000 stars. There's the motions. And you can see some of them have moved very little, but a lot of them have moved quite a bit. Some are faster, slower. But that's over 1.6 million years projected pass. And there's the layout. So that's what I've learned about Gaia. Amazing spacecraft collecting a pile of information Just hoping we're not going to get these guys coming. As long as we don't see any of them, we're good. How many of them are going to find? Yeah. So how many others are we going to find in that data? Anyway,
That's wicked.
back
cool.
to stop presenting.
That is cool.
So I thought that was like I had no idea that there was that much data being collected from that one spacecraft. And they're going to be going through that for years and years and years. Like the data that they're collecting, it's not just asteroids that they're looking at, but they're looking at supernova, stars and other galaxies. They found other globular star clusters. And they found out that Andromeda is approaching us faster than what we thought it was before. So there's a distance that they plotted because of the distance of the stars, so and the redshift in them. So yeah, it's just amazing the amount of data coming from that one spacecraft. So that's my talk on that one. That was the Gaia spacecraft put out by the European Space Agency. Okay, so we're done with that. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to take this back.
No,
to
I
full
didn't say
screen.
you're quite a space guy.
And I'd like to say you're quite a comedian, but anyway. Hello, Trudy.
Hey guys.
Hey, okay. Way to break the ice, Paul. Really
Yeah.
good at that.
Yeah, that's good.
Ba-dum-tsh. Okay, so let's have a chat with Trudy. How you been?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So what's
Waiting
new?
for some clear nights.
Clear nights. Yep.
I don't know who's in charge of those clouds, but somebody needs to take them away.
That's because you made that dew shield. That's why. Or somebody ordered a telescope. I'm not sure who, but somebody did.
Well, from what I'm hearing, no one's have any luck ordering telescopes. So
Okay, are you guys seeing the video on Facebook? Okay, Mike, is it still running? Because
Yeah,
I'm seeing I'm having trouble playing it. It says on my side, so just want to be sure that it is up. Okay.
No, we're looking good. It's running fine.
Okay, great. Okay, so Trudy, let's talk a little bit about where you were last time and where you are now, and well, I know you're in the same place, but where you
I'm
were.
in the same spot. Fairfield.
Okay, well, thanks for coming. And
I got it right.
Didn't you hear me? It's been cloudy. I'm still slugging away on my Explore the Universe.
tell us about
I've
that.
kind of, well, I've got through most of the constellations.
So it's a course offered by RASC.
It is, oh yes, course offered by RASC. You don't have to be a RASC member for that one. Anyone can do it.
Right.
I'm opting to do both the description and the sketching, so taking me a little longer. I think basically I have all the moon stuff I still have to do, and some of the harder planets for me I haven't successfully found yet. So
it's the moon,
still
it's the
working on that.
planets, it's a number of DSO objects,
yeah, deep sky, double stars.
those stars.
That's
okay.
not something I've ever really taken the time to look at, so that's
Right.
going to be new for me.
Mhm.
Constellations, I ran through as most of that. I started this way back before I even joined RASC, not knowing what I know, and had to set it aside because it was too confusing. Now that I've learned more, I've taken it back and I'm looking at it going, oh yeah, yep, because now I know
Yeah. So it walks
exactly
you,
where it is.
So you're walking through the constellations, you're walking through the planets, the moon, double stars,
Double star. Deep
Messier
sky, and it's-
objects, some Messier objects.
So there's I think 2 variable stars on it,
Okay.
which I think are optional.
So it's a nice, fully well-rounded type course then
Exactly.
to help you
It
introduce you
covers
to the
it
night
all.
sky. Yeah. And it's free.
And it's free. And some of the moon stuff I think will be on the Explore the Moon binos. Like it kind of overlaps a little bit.
Okay. So there's an Explore the Moon telescope version, there's an Explore the Moon binocular version, and then Explore the Universe.
Exactly. Explore the Universe. Yep. So I'm working on the Explore the Universe. I'm working on the Explore the Moon binos. Just because I don't like binoculars and I'm making myself do it.
Yeah.
You say you were doing some sketching as well?
I am with the moon one.
Yeah.
I'm making myself do the sketching just because I know when I get into doing the Messier one, I'm going to have to do some sketching. So, yeah.
I gotta ask you don't have an example of one of your sketches, do you?
Oh, I do. But I have to step out of screen for 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Just give me
I'd
one
be
sec.
fascinated to see one, yeah.
So yeah, the good thing about that is that even with sketching, I mean, you're going to pick up a whole lot more of what you're looking at, right? Because you're actually sitting to draw it. And,
Yeah.
yeah. I would probably suggest that you sketch anything that you see like that for sure, if you can.
Whip
See,
out
like
the
I said, I can't draw a straight line with a pencil and a ruler, so.
Yeah, I'm not a drawer. I don't care for drawing, but let me see.
Yeah, right on. Look at that.
Hang on, I'm going to pin that to your screen here so everybody can see it.
I see.
There we go.
I couldn't. I personally, I could not do that. I just could not do that.
Well, let's see. Look, she did put Fairfield as a location, so there we go. I was right.
That's
You think
impressive.
I live there? You think I'd live there or something?
Now, do
Awesome.
you sketch while you're looking in the eyepiece, Trudy, or
No, I sketch. I have a page done up with just the circles,
yes?
and I rough sketch there, and I make notes,
Okay.
and then I come in and grumble and do it better.
No, I can understand it because it's like, how do you keep your paper from getting wet, right? Because pencils will be
Oh.
wet, they don't get along with each
Yeah.
other. Right.
And every time I go to sit back up at my, I made my own mount to mount my binoculars on my tripod, but I can't get them completely tight. And every time I go, I lean back and do some sketching. I look up and nothing's in focus, so I have to constantly adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a binocular. I can use them for a second to find a crescent moon or to find a planet to put the camera on, but for me to sit for hours in the evening to use binoculars, no.
Right on.
But I'm making myself do it.
You need a set of those things that Mike's got behind him there that we're going to
I
talk about next week.
You know what's funny? I just researched a whole bunch of plans on that. I'll just go visit Mike.
There you go.
I'll tell you, they are real easy to make.
Yeah, no, I was looking and thought, wow, that's
It's surprisingly, the simplicity is amazing.
We're
my
going to bring
tripod for my camera is very, very sturdy. So if I could make something just to mount right on it, that would work.
Don't
I
use,
love it. Have you
don't
seen
use
the
pine,
plan?
make sure you use a hardwood.
Oh, have you seen the plan with the great big seat attached? And oh my
Yes.
gosh, that's amazing.
And the joystick and motors too.
Yeah.
I kind of observing, and you're flying through the
Yeah.
universe.
they don't
And
like
then about
they don't like Mike anywhere near an arcade, so because he could go to the back door with
Oh,
one of
yeah.
these things.
500 helium balloons.
Yeah, that'd be awesome in a lawn chair.
Okay, so maybe Mike and I shouldn't do astronomy together.
So Trudy,
Hey.
you've got a few photos there, I think, to be able to show us.
I do. So
Okay.
the other one I was working on, by going through the RAS site, I realized there were some astro imaging certificates.
Okay.
And the first one is wide field to start you out. And I realized I had most of those photos. There's a couple I had to redo, but in November of last year, I submitted it and I did get my RASC astro imaging wide field certificate. So
Nice.
let me-
Congratulations.
if
Good
I
for
can
you.
bring this up. Thank you. I will.
We're going to talk about your telescope there in a minute too, once we come back. So.
Well, my Scopey sitting beside me.
That hot water heater, yeah.
My hot water heater. Okay, so there's my. Are you seeing my astro
are.
imaging certificate?
We
There
are.
we go.
I just pinned it. There we go.
So I got that in November of last year. So that was pretty exciting. I was happy
Awesome.
with that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the next one is solar system, I believe. But I need some guys to check the collimation on the scope for me before I attempt that.
Well, I think we got a couple of guys here that could do that for you.
I do. And then this is my latest sunrise photo from my favorite spot. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I
awesome.
actually went down to capture Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter, but I was a little late. The entire fishing fleet from St. Martin's had the whole cove lit up.
Oh, really?
So, oh yeah, I went down. It was lit up like a city, but they all left at 6 a.m. But by then it was too late for me to do my photos, and I saw the sun was coming, and I knew it actually lined up with the split that day. But I've done that photo so much, I wanted a different angle, and
you caught
couldn't
it.
get the grass
Yeah,
with the
gorgeous.
split, so we did that one. And then the fog was just a bonus, so it worked out good.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, that is it.
Awesome.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Okay. So yeah, I mean the sun's a celestial object, so we're counting that too. So
Yep.
let's
is.
let's tell us about your telescope there behind you.
Oh, my 8-inch Dob is sitting here. Oh, my remote for my heat pump's on top of it. There we go.
Okay.
Told you I had to do with heat.
It's because all my telescope equipment is piled in the corner and I can't get to the remote, so that's where it sits. So this is what I'm doing all my viewing with, and I love it.
8-inch Skywatcher Dobsonian, right?
8-inch Skywatcher Dobsonian. Yep. It's great. I love it. It and I spent the whole night out doing the Messier marathon on the 16th, and it was perfect.
So I
Yes,
believe
couldn't have
you
been
can
happier.
get that pretty well on the back seat of most vehicles, I think, like laying around on the back seat, or if you get your seats flopped
Yeah,
down, of
it'll
course.
fit.
But
I have a minivan. It's no problem.
but most time you're just out in your yard there anyway, because you've got the nice dark sky
Exactly.
where you are.
Yeah, I'm in the front yard at Astronomy Island, which is not an island anymore. All the water's gone, so we're good. We were not at the picnic table for the Messier Marathon because it was underwater.
Holly, any questions?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm wondering what it is that motivates you to do the Messier targets and and to get out in your yard every night. Like what it is that what calls you to get out there and do what you do, because you've been doing so much more than what a lot of people who just get into the hobby do right away. You've kind of dived in with both feet. And I've often wondered, and I don't think I've ever asked you, why are you so enthusiastic about it?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. It started with photography. My daughter was into it, and I was her drive, so I ended up buying a used camera, so I wasn't sitting in the car waiting for her while she did photos. And then I started doing some night photos. And then those iridium flares. I loved those iridium flares. In November of 2017, I went to the nighttime photography course that Paul put on through the Astronomy Club. And then we said, well, let's go to the December meeting. And that was it. I was hooked. It was just, and then, of course, listening to all of you guys and Kurt, starting with the constellations, like, half the time I'm outside, I don't have any equipment with me other than my star map, and I'm sitting there running through all the constellations. I just start at the Big Dipper and I go and see if I can name them all from season to season, because they keep changing.
Mhm.
So, and then of course, if you want to find the Messiers, you're going to have to know where those constellations are. So, and that one's just, of course, you put the word challenge in front of it. So, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, got the sky for it. Got a few trees in the way, but I couldn't get M74. That one drove me crazy, but it's right. That's my western sky, kind of where I've got the city glow a little bit. So, and the tower, I think it sits right with the tower. So, but I did get M77, which I've never gotten before, and it took me a long time. I think I finally had to switch to my 20 millimeter because I knew it was there. It had to be there. I went over the stars. I couldn't tell you how many times. So I took out my 40 millimeter and put in my 20 millimeter and went, oh, yeah, it was right there, like smack center. So, yeah, but Virgo still eludes me. That's my challenge this summer, is to figure Virgo out.
I also remember too a time when all of us were out to, if memory's any good at all, we were down on Rosse along the water where the tracks are.
Yep.
And everybody was set up. And Mike, you were there. Chris, you were there.
Yeah.
And Trudy was there. And she says, and while we were setting up, before anybody came, she said, I don't know what to say to anybody. Remember all those real moments that everybody an astronomer who gets involved with star parties and outreach.
Yeah.
And even though you were that, how can I say this, not quite, worldly, I guess, about it, and you were scared about it, but yet you went ahead and did it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, why not?
It takes guts.
That's okay.
So those kind of things, and that's why it kind of prompted me to ask you what your motivation was, because for somebody who, first of all, didn't know anything about astronomy, got into astronomy, and now I'm sitting here listening to you talk about 20 millimeter and 40 millimeter. Back then you were thinking, what the heck is a 20 millimeter eyepiece?
Exactly, because the first time I borrowed the club telescope, I went that little 4-inch club telescope. And the first time I went out, because I'm used to a camera, so if I want to zoom in on, or if I want something wide, then I'm on 18 millimeter, right? So I, of course, picked my 6 millimeter and put it in, and I can't find a flipping thing. I can't find the moon. I was ready to pitch that thing over the bank, and I'm done. And then I came in and went, why can't I find anything? Googled it and went, oh, I need it to 20 millimeter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, Kurt tricked me in. He literally tricked me into my first outreach. I had set it up for St. Martin's Old Home Week. I had never done any outreach. I've only used the club scope twice. He's like, "Oh, bring it out. You can look at the moon while we're doing our thing." After I get set up and there's people roaming around, I was thinking, I got a scope set up. People are going to come over and start asking me stuff. He's like, when I'm done here, I'm going to go give Kirk a kit in the butt. Yeah, so I stayed on the moon. And then people got distracted, and then I switched to Jupiter and Saturn because those were the three I'd practiced at the house, so that's where I stayed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And that was all. That was all needed. Like you did great that night. It was
and just
just a matter of starting out slowly and teaching what you know. You don't have to teach much about the moon. People just love the views.
Exactly. That was they didn't realize the craters. I think we had 80 some people last night, and then that was 2018. In 2019, I personally had over 500 people look through my telescope between outreaches and private stuff going on here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Don't tell Kurt you didn't put any reports in.
Numbers in, yeah.
Yes, I did.
Here's an example of somebody taking this and doing it to the degree that you do, and you've always impressed me that way. Because here I am sitting here going to the star parties, or the events that we have around, and she's sitting there with a clicker. 1, 2.
Yeah.
We're going, well, how many did you see? Well, I don't know. I think we saw. But no, this is how many.
Yeah, exactly. 131.
And that kind of stuff is just.
You know what? I do that. My brain counts everything. So at star parties, I was going crazy so I had to buy a clicker because I was like, okay, I can't keep all those numbers and try to talk. And so, yeah, I had to get a clicker.
Well,
my brain's, yep.
So if you were to give any new astronomer or somebody just getting started, because of where you are now, and it's been, I guess, about a 3-year ride. Is that about right?
Yeah.
2017.
4
years, right?
Yeah, really. 2018 really is when I.
Where's the time go?
Early.
Yeah, exactly.
4 years.
All those
So
cookies.
what you've done in 3 years, you've got these certificates, you're drawing, you've got variety telescopes, you're taking photographs, you're doing all this stuff. So what would you say now, knowing what you know now and where you are, to somebody just coming in, if they were to say, Trudy, how should I get started? What would you tell them?
I tell them to start with the star map and the constellations. Don't bother with the equipment yet until you need to learn the constellations to do anything. If you want to go find the deep sky and the Messier, you've got to know where to look in that sky. And then, and play with the binoculars. You can look at the moon with the binoculars and see lots, and get to some star parties and some outreach and talk to astronomy folks to find out what scope you want. Not everyone's going to want to lug this. The base weighs a ton. Everyone looks at the scope and goes, oh my gosh, how do you carry that? I said, the scope's light. It's the base. The base weighs a ton. Half the time I get my son to carry it outside for me. I don't let anyone touch the scope. But anybody can take the base out for me. It's heavy. Not everyone's going to want to carry that. So you might want to look into. But personally, I have no interest in a go-to. I like the star hopping. I like knowing that I know where the constellations are that I need, that I can go, okay, I want this Messier item. I need to go to this star, move here and do that. And,
Yeah.
And I went from a finder scope to a red dot to a Telrad. Like literally one was on and one was off. I love my Telrad. My Messier book that I use is all set up with the Telrad. So it's just, providing I have it lined up perfectly when I start, I surprise myself with the fact that I get it where I think it is, that I go and look through the eyepiece and it's smack in the center. It's like, boom, there it is.
Wow.
Some of them I was getting within the same minute or at least 1 minute. No, I would start with learning the constellations. Get a good star finder. That can be a single little one of those star wheels, star wheels.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
Great advice.
Yeah.
And everybody knows where the Big Dipper is.
In
We'll
Orion.
start from
in the
there.
winter, Yep.
Yep, Orion, exactly, in the winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting
So-
comfortable under the sky, finding out where things are, that's going to help
Yep.
you get yourself going so that you can start to say, okay, well, I want to find the Pleiades. How do I find that? Like if you have a map
Exactly.
of the province, great, you can find out where Moncton is, but try to, okay, we can drive there, I know, but other parts of the province that are isolated, that kind of thing. You need a map of the sky, and you
Yep.
need to spend some time under that map getting familiar with the objects that you're looking at because they change throughout the year too. Like this time of
Oh,
year right
yes,
now, we got
exactly.
Leo is nice and high. Orion, of course, was our wintertime constellation. That one that starts with a C comes up here shortly. Cancer.
Paul
That's
Paul
it.
might know where that one is.
Cygnus.
Yeah. Cygnus. Yeah.
Cygnus.
Cygnus. Anyway.
Chris, that's right.
But yeah, finding your way around the sky is your first trick. The sky's not going to change in our lifetimes. Nothing's going to move. Like I showed you that Gaia stuff. Okay, that's 1.6 million years from now. But we're not going to see stuff moving around in our sky that's going to change in our lifetimes at all. So we've got
No.
lots of time. Planets are up every month. We've got the moon is up every month. Always have a nice view with that. So like you said, Trudy, pair of binoculars, great to start with. And you know something, if you buy binoculars, you're never going to get rid of them. You'll
No.
probably hold on to them for your lifetime, and maybe you'll pass them on to your kids or whatever down the road. But they're cheap, they're reasonable, you can use them daytime as well. They give you correct orientation, so they have a lot of pluses. So
yes.
yeah, I agree with everything you said. Absolutely, yeah, that's exactly where people should start. So,
Yep.
Thank you, Trudy. Oh, we
You're
got you're going to show us the moment, the gearbox moment this week, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So we have a
Okay.
gearbox. Mike. No Mike Guyver this week. It's Trudy Guyver.
Pretty good.
Just Trudy Guyver.
So, knowing I was doing the SCAs, and of course it wasn't warm out, my biggest problem is my Telred fogging up on me, icing up on me.
So
I
show us
think
what a
it was-
Telrad is, Trudy. Just turn it on
Can
there for him.
you?
Yep, we can see it.
Oh.
And it's a finder, basically.
Yep.
With a red dot
It's a finder.
with the
red
red
dot
circles.
finder.
Here it is.
Don't know if you can. Can you see?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tilt it up towards, tilt
Yeah.
up.
There,
Slope,
down a bit. Down a
back
bit.
down,
Yeah, there we go.
back
There
Great
we go.
stop.
Okay. Yep.
Got it.
Left, right, left, right.
All right.
Series of circles. A bullseye. It's got a bullseye.
So it puts a bullseye on the sky for you, so you can line up, and that way, when you look in your eyepiece, you're right on what you want. However, when that nice little clear piece of glass is covered in frost, it's useless to you. Even when you continually scrape it off with your finger, it's still useless to you. So I went to research some dew shields, and I believe, what is the name of the site? It is homebuiltastronomy.com. He's got all these little plans for things on there.
Yep.
And they use the little craft foam you can find. But unfortunately, the day I was in town, I was in a rip-roaring hurry, and the only thing they had at the dollar store were these little squares. So I had to go find, at that dollar store, I ended up with a boot mat. So, which I cut a
Love
chunk out of. So mine is a little thicker than what it should be, but you print out, there's a template on there for you to print out, and you need to keep this white space. So when you cut it out, you keep that on. It has to be 11 inches in order for you to get the height you need for you to look through. So it's got to be 11 inches tall. So I just put that on. Okay, well, here. Put it on. And you need some little Velcro circles. I don't know if you can see them on the Telred. They're kind of
Yep.
matched Velcro. So it literally just goes on. It folds over and snaps on.
I love
There's
it.
your dew shield.
And you still
You
got
can
it
turn
room to
it
turn it
on.
up.
You can see through. I did notice a couple of times when I had some fainter stars that I could almost had to use averted vision to see that this was an issue, but I just kept going up and down and I would get it. And it was -4 at 7:30 in the evening. I think it was -12 when I went out at 2. think by 4 o'clock in the morning it was minus 14. I came in at 6:30 in the morning. It was minus 10. This
Wow.
did not frost up once.
Wow.
My scope was covered. My table had so much frost on it. Every time I turned around to touch my book and make notes in my binder, everything would slide. I like just like it was on ice. Like that's how heavy. And I think, well, even when I went out at 7:30, by 11 o'clock, everything was covered in frost. I was taking my pieces out, putting the caps on, and putting them in my pockets and bringing them in on my breaks so they didn't frost up. I didn't want to have to run an extension cord and use a hairdryer, which I have done before. So this did not frost up.
Awesome.
I don't even know if I go for the thinner piece of foam. I was quite happy with this.
Yeah.
I can see how the thinner piece wouldn't interfere with you looking through as much with those fainter stars. So I might get it and try it, but at minus 14, and I'm telling you, this thing had a puddle underneath it when I brought it in to, and I was throwing a blanket over this every time I came in twice for breaks. I would put a blanket over the telescope just to keep it, and it was just coated in frost. It was unreal.
Awesome.
That worked great. That was,
So you've had it in this winter. You just made it, right?
I literally made it the day before. So I went out on the 16th, so I made it on the 15th.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the this spring,
Yes.
because now we're doing a dew instead of frost, and if it works for both,
Me
they're
too.
probably the least expensive dew protection you can get for a Telrad, and it looks like it's pretty simple to put together.
It is easy to put together. And let me tell you, if you have a spot where you stick stuff because you're going to use it later, check first, because there's another piece of this over there already with a great big thing cut out of it. So I didn't even have to go buy this. Apparently, I went to, I said, I'm going to save this. So I may make something, or maybe somebody will want to make one. And then there's another piece over there. I don't even know what we used it for, but there's a great big hole in it. So I don't know.
Well, if it comes with a dozen chocolate chip muffins, I'm in. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I need chocolate chips. I'm out, if you can imagine.
No, can't imagine.
Yeah, dew is my biggest issue.
Awesome.
It could be July, August here, and you're in a winter coat out at the bonfire because by 11 o'clock everything's soaked. So
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see what happens in the dew.
Yeah.
Keep us informed on that, because that'll be
Yeah, let
that'd be
us know.
something. If it works, it would be something we'll certainly recommend.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Trudy.
not a problem. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Let's go to a couple of photos then for a minute, and then we got a quick talk from Mike to do, and then Paul, are we gonna do?
I don't think we're gonna have time again.
Okay.
That's fine. It's not a timely one, so.
Okay. Awesome. Well, okay. Let me try sharing my screen here. Then I guess I'm just gonna bring up a few photos that were contributed this week. Don't have too many to show, but a few. And we're going to start with this one here from Stefan.
Oh, nice.
All good. Okay, so yeah, Stefan Picard sent this one in. He says, "Hi Chris, just a show from about 2 weeks ago. It was a busy southwest to west southwest night sky on March the 19th. Going to miss the next few months. You can see most of Orion on the left-hand side over here. Most of it's there. Betelgeuse, Bellatrix, Rigel, etc. He's got the Moon. He's got the Hyades cluster right in here, and the Pleiades over here to the right. He said that's as much as I could fit in my 50mm lens. So nice capture. Thanks, Stefan.
Yeah,
Wow.
very nice.
Very good.
That's a lot in one.
That is yeah. Kathy Adams sent this one into the page yesterday. She said, after the wicked rains April 1st, it was so nice to see the sun today and a nice sunset taken in St. Stephen on the river.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well done. David Samard sent these couple shots last week. I had, I think it was 18 photos last week, so I had to try to squeeze a couple in for this week. So thanks, David, for these. David said these are shots from last week that didn't make it to the show. 2 shots of our waxing gibbous moon here. So that was a week ago or so.
Oh, nice.
Very well done.
Nice detail.
Great job.
And I got this one from, hang on a second, get my notes. Oh, great.
Andy McCaffrey.
Sandy?
I did, yes. Sandy McCaddy. Just got to get her notes here. Thanks, guys. There it is. Okay, got the sheet. Sandy McCaddy. I'm glad I put the names up top. She said, thanks for the live events this evening. That was last night, I guess. I appreciate your comments and support. Just one photo to share right now. My first somewhat successful DSO, M42. She was using a ZWO 071 MC Pro on a Stellarvue SV80 ED. So,
Wow.
yeah, nice. Luck was a bigger factor as my efforts later to capture M81 and M82 fell short of my expectations, but after decades of visual astrophotography has reawakened my enthusiasm. Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
you got a new
Oh,
student.
she did a great job. That's
Very nice.
Nice.
that's pretty good.
Well done for first capture, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, beautiful.
Nice, Sandy. Thanks for sending that in.
In fact, she's can you go back that one just
Yeah.
for a sec?
Sure.
She's if you look at the core, she's got that done so well that the core's not even hardly blown out at all.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
see that.
That's
almost
the
see the
first
full
thing that
50.
most people do is blow the core right out.
Yeah,
And you know, you can almost see the trap in there.
almost.
So
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic job, really,
Very well done.
really impressive,
Nothing but up from there for sure.
indeed.
Stephanie Chess also sent this one in. I wish this was on the moon contest page that I've got going up now. I wish this photo was more clear, but it was the moon tonight. Mesmerizing, she said. That was from 4 days ago. So thanks for that shot, Stephanie.
Very
And
nice.
speaking of the moon, there's a capture from one of our guys. Oh, that was Mike's. Yeah,
Good call.
that was awesome, Mike. Beautiful shot
That
there.
110 treating him well.
What's that?
So that 110's treating him well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it works on the moon. I think that shot was taken somewhere around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, if I recall.
Yeah.
I waited till the moon come up.
Nice and high.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like,
Beautiful,
really
great
crisp.
shot. And this guy, Mr. Sunset.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And that's the time of night that it was that I saw those. I thought were starlings.
Okay,
Were-
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
it might have
That's
been.
what I was. That's what I was shooting. I was looking that way. That's of course west,
Hmm.
and then I looked the other way towards the east. And anyway, we were talking about that early before the show about the starlings. Everybody's watching them and stuff. So
We were talking, Mike and I were talking about this thing called the Belt of Venus. I'm going to talk about that maybe in a week or so. Just if you look at the opposite direction from where the sunset is, we see this pinkish kind of a sky with a dark blue underneath it. We see that every time the sun sets in one direction, and the opposite end of the sky, we see this pinkish and bluish. And then, of course, it does the same thing in sunrise in the morning. But it's called the Belt of Venus, and it's also called the arc that stretches across the blue part. But I got a little bit of a discussion on that and why it happens, and I've never really known what it was, but it's awful nice. But you're looking at sunset here, so yeah,
yeah,
just the
yeah.
opposite.
Looking at the, but this is the kind of sky Mike and I talk about, and where it turns that you get that what we call the blue hour.
Yeah.
Just as the golden hour is setting, the blue hour starts to take in.
Right.
And you get that really gorgeous deep blue sky when you look up, and then as you come down, it turns to a turquoise.
Yeah.
It's just, oh,
Yeah.
I can't.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you're awestruck when
Yeah.
you're standing there looking at.
Your photograph, that explains it right there.
Yeah.
It's that magical
Yeah.
time for sure.
Yeah.
So
Awesome, Paul.
beautiful.
And it's paulowenphotography.ca down here at the bottom left, if you want to go have a look at some of his other amazing captures. I just wanted to mention this. Coming up, we do have another contest coming up. I've done a number of the Shoot the Moon contests on the page. If you follow the page at all, you know that I'm always asking for your photos. We love to get them in here, first of all, for our show, of course. But with this one here, the contest starts again on the 14th of April. It's going to run for a couple of weeks, right through till the end of the full moon cycle. So a couple of days in the waning crescent there, past the full moon. And just going to hope for some good weather. If we get some great weather, we'll continue the contest. If we don't, I'm going to stop it, and we're going to run it again in May, because we never really know what April's going to bring. But anyway, so all I'm asking for is just I'll mention this later when I get into the talk of it, but it's just basically a camera shot, cell phone, doesn't matter what your photo looks like, send it in, your name gets entered, we have some prizes to give away, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So, but watch for that coming up with another announcement, a little bit of a live feed probably next week. And I think the only thing I wanted to mention was that here's where you send your photos. So we love getting them. Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com. Once you plug it in once to your email address, you'll have it forever. But I know it's a long name to remember, but that's what it is. Or you can send them right into the Facebook page as well. And I love getting them there. So we love showing off your photos. Thanks so much, everybody, for bringing them to us. And I'm back to not presenting. Perfect. Okay. And now we're going to move on to Mike, because Mike's going to give us our binocular target of the week.
I can't remember if I do entire screen or window. Let's try entire screen first.
Okay.
See if we get. We should see a picture of Bino Bud.
Bino Bud's right there.
There he is.
Bud.
And hopefully he's by himself. You don't see the next slide with him?
No. I'm going to pin him though,
All
so
right.
we coverage over the whole screen. Here we go.
So here goes our binocular target of the week is going to be M41 or 42 and M43, sorry.
This
And
one-
you can see the little guy with his pencil doing sketches like Trudy saying, "What do I draw below the belt?"
Yeah, my tongue hangs out of my mouth just like that too.
Oh, Orion Nebula, also known as M42, is a diffuse nebula situated in Milky Way, being south of Orion's belt in the constellation Orion. It's one of the brightest nebula, invisible to the naked eye, the night sky. It's 1,300, give or take, 20 light years away, but it's the closest region of massive star formation to the Earth, which I thought was an interesting fact. The M42 nebula is estimated to be about 24 light years across. It has a mass of about 2,000 times that of our sun.
Wow.
So when you're looking for it, everybody knows Orion in the sky. I mean, you can't miss it. Betelgeuse stands out, Rigel. It's some of the brightest stars we get in the night sky. And you'll see where his belt is, and then just below his belt, you'll find M42 and M43. How do you find it? Again, you recognize that bright orange Betelgeuse in the sky, and if you can't see Orion's belt, it's you're looking in the wrong part of the sky. It's just no other way to explain it, but look up for Orion, find that 3 stars that make up the belt, and then just come down from the center star a little ways, and you can't miss the nebula. It is naked eye visible. Right about now, just as it gets dark, say around 9 o'clock, it sits about 220 degrees southwest. So it's starting to get to a point where it's setting fast. That's why I figured I'd get it in now, because pretty soon it's going to be below the horizon at night, and our summer constellations are starting to rise. There's what it looks like. You saw a photograph that somebody took earlier. This is just another photograph of it with the colors and things. You won't see the colors and stuff like that with the naked eye or through a pair of binoculars, but what you will see roughly looks like this. And you can make out around where the trapezium is, and you can see the nebulosity coming off the sides. It's fairly easy to make out when you're looking at it. And that's an example through 10 by 50s. There's the size of the full moon compared to the Orion Nebula. You wouldn't think it would be that big, but it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking, when you finally get that chance to compare the full size of the full moon towards it, it is a massive object to look at. So if you can see the full moon in your binoculars, you'll definitely see the Orion Nebula. And then, sometimes everything looks so far away. You inevitably get that when you're doing public outreach. But anyway, that was Bino Bud's binocular target of the week.
She was just checking collimation, right?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, awesome. Okay, look, we're at 9 o'clock. Paul, you're gonna be okay if we move to Rosanna's segment next week, or do we want to? Or we can continue on. It's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do.
No,
Ask the
no,
audience.
because it gets it's not a long one, but it's we'll do it next week. I'll
Okay,
give Rosanna a break this week. She won't have to do one this week for me.
that'd be great. She needs a break. She does a lot of work for the show.
Yes, she
Yeah.
does.
Been busy for us, yeah.
So I just want to be
Absolutely.
sure, before we sign off, I just want to check through our comments. Have you guys been checking Facebook and YouTube to see what's been happening? Just want to see if there's any questions before, because I don't like to leave any open questions if people have them. I'm going to check YouTube at the moment. Sorry, folks, I don't mean to just leave us out there hanging. What are non-MacGyver alternatives to ward off dew? Heated surfaces, battery packs, coating, spray, spit. We're not well. Spit probably. I've tried spit, doesn't work for sure. Coating spray, not really either. A heated surface would be your next option. So
Hand warmers.
hand warmers, right? So I was trying to think of those little hand warmers you buy in the
Yep.
shop. Snap them a little bit, get them warmed up, put an elastic around it, snap it to the side of your towel rad, and that'll help a lot. Look at you. There we go. So Trudy's got them for $5 a package.
Yeah, if you buy the box at Costco, it'll last you about 20 years.
How much for the box, Trudy?
I'm trying to help you get some eyepieces. Shh.
Box. There's 40 pairs. And what I do is I go to the dollar store and buy the little kids socks because
Yeah.
you can put 2 in and wrap it around your eyepiece or your camera lens. I used to use them on my camera lens before I had a heater, and just elastic band, and it works great.
If I'm using my go-to telescope, I'll put a couple on the backside of my hand pad too, and that'll keep it just warm enough so that the display doesn't go
Yep.
all wonky on you. So
Yep.
they're handy. They're good to have a box of them
Yep.
with you for sure. And you can use them warm your hands too. I know that, but they have a lot more uses. Okay. So that was the comment back to Renat. Let's take a look on Facebook. Any questions there, guys, that you've noticed? Or
Nothing jumped out as a question. There's
Okay.
lots of nice comments, but no question.
great. Okay. Well, I guess we're ready to close in, I guess. So in closing, and again tonight, a special thanks to all of you for your continued support. Special thanks to our special guest, Trudy Allman, for joining us this evening. Thank you, Trudy.
Thanks for
Hey.
having me.
That way.
Appreciate it. I've got a few comments in here that you were very inspiring. So nice.
Awesome.
That's what we like to hear. Thanks again, of course, to Rosanna for her contributions to the show. Sorry, Rosanna, but we're going to carry on your topic next week. Give you a break this week. That's great. Also, we'd like to say thanks to all the great people at Astronomy Plus for sponsoring our program as well. And remember, we do love getting your photos, so send them into SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com, or just send them into my Facebook page either way, and we'll be happy to include them on our next broadcast. We're also looking for suggestions for topics for future shows, so if you have anything that you would like us to discuss on a future episode, we're always looking for topics. Please send your requests to the same address, SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to make it happen for you. Also, if you joined us from YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do. And please consider giving us a like. And please let your family and friends know as well that we are here every Sunday night at the same time to entertain, for sure, and to educate you a little bit on the night sky. So for now then, from Trudy and Mike and Paul and I, stay safe, everyone. We wish you all clear skies, and we hope that you can join us here again next week. And remember, as we like to say, everybody, Trudy included, keep your scopes pointed up. Have a great week, everybody. Good night. Cue the music. Good night, everyone.